Hey YouTube, this is Reggie ICX here with Zombie Killer's Airsoft again, and it's airsoft time. Alright, Saturday I went out airsofting, trying out my SCAR for the first time on the field. It performed well until about 2 p.m., didn't know what happened. It started sounding like a drill gun going on. Turns out my piston that came stock was made of pure plastic and all the teeth got ripped apart by the metal gears. I'm going to be showing you my gun taken apart and then me opening up my gearbox for a second time to show how it looks like on the inside. Alright, these are all the exterior parts. My barrel extension, my suppressor, mock suppressor, my scope, my upper receiver, my foregrip, lower receiver, pistol grip, and stock. Now, we're going to go right to the gearbox. Like your M4s and M16 gearboxes, it is a version 2, so you should be pretty well good with it if you know how to open one of these bad boys up. And now, let us begin. Now, what you need to focus on is not losing your stuff. Now, what you need to do first is take out all the screws around the body. I'm going to locate them for you. If you never used the version 2 gearbox, this will be helpful for you. Right here you have one screw. Right here you do. Surprisingly, it didn't come with one here. Then right here. One right here. Two down here. One right here. And finally, your last one right over here. Now, I'm going to put down the camera 1 second just to get these things on the phone, and I'm going to let you see it. Now, guys, I suggest using your Phillips screwdriver because that's what you're going to need. To take apart a D-Boy SCAR, which is discontinued, is a lot harder because of the fact that you need to pry the receiver open in order to get the selector switch to, let the two gears come out. These are the gears right here, so you see them. That controls your selector switch. This takes about a good 20 minutes usually, but if you already know how to open up your gun, it should be fine. Now there's these little rings that are around the screws at the top. Don't lose those. You need them. I already lost one. They're like your spacers. Now, the other screws on the body are a lot longer, so this might take a little bit longer. Now for the last one. Now, the next step after taking out the screws is a lot trickier because now you have your spring in here, which is always pressurized due to your spring guide, your cylinder, and piston. This is where it's going to be usually located. Now, we got to be very, very gentle. I'm going to be putting it down for 1 second just so you can see how to do this. Alright. Now, right here, you want to insert a screwdriver, if it fits. This is a pen now. Alright, then I'm going to have to do this by hand, ever so gently. And that's how you stop a ticky-ticky time bomb from going off. Alright. This should be the internals of your D-Boy SCAR version 2 gearbox. All version 2 gearboxes are a lot different depending on what gun you have. Now, notice the gears are made out of metal. They're shimmed okay. I already checked. Now, what's our problem is the fact is our piston, which is right here. So we're going to be taking out this little guy. so you guys can see it. What you want to do, guys, is slowly push in the spring with the spring guide to make sure it doesn't eject itself, like so. And here you go. Spring guide and spring. See? This is a version 2 spring guide. They're not really all, they are very, very tricky though. And now to show you the piston. Now, this was my problem. Notice all the teeth are shaved down right through the center. See? My thumb can get right in there. All that highlighted white is what used to be the teeth. What happened was, my gears right here, I'm guessing that's my spur gear, just to make sure, or that's my spur gear, forget, ripped off all the teeth in one day. So yeah, I'm going to be buying myself a new piston, probably a Bravo polycarbonate steel teeth set one. The piston is still good though, surprisingly. This is your cylinder, if you guys don't know. This is your cylinder. Cylinder head's right here. Your air seal nozzle. This is what excretes the air. You have all your internals, but we're not going to be touching the inside of the gearbox because this was a bitch for me on my first time because I accidentally moved the gear and I had to put everything back into the way it was, so everything's staying the same way that it is and no one's touching it. But we are going to go over a little bit something here for you guys that don't know. Now this is your spring guide. For all you don't know this, your spring guide is not universal. Your piston is, however. Your spring guide, depending on what version gearbox, is what you're going to need. You have version 2 to 7, usually. Another universal part is your spring, your AEG spring. This one, I believe, is about an M140, M130, around there. Your cylinders, I believe, are universal or not. I'm not sure. Cylinder heads are not, though. And I don't think your air seal nozzles are not either. They're designed for different guns. Aside from that, gears, once again, I think you have to actually, these are universal, I'm not sure. I forget once in a while. Trigger is an M4, M16 style trigger. Depending on what gun you have is what style it's going to be. Now, what happens is this. Why it shredded the entire piston is, let me show you a demonstration. Alright, your piston, a quick demonstration before I run out of time. Your piston goes in like so. That moves it, causing the spring to go back and forth and this to go back and forth. That ate up my entire piston. Alright? Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment with me on opening my gearbox, and this has been It's Airsoft Time, and I will wish you all a great day. Subscribe, post comments, anything like that to help me out. Alright guys, see you around.